Hi, everybody. We were waiting for the lady to come, and now we're ready to start. Points that we're going to discuss today. First of all, I'm going to introduce the team here that works in Treepl CMS and everything that surrounds Treepl CMS. The second, we're going to speak about infrastructure. What are we working on in terms of infrastructure? How are we going to grow the system? Third thing, we're going to talk a little about strategies. Next, we're going to introduce Treepl CMS community. Next thing, we're going to talk about documentation. We have some news in that department. Next, we're going to showcase some projects that are live or about to go live. Public backlog. We finally have the public backlog fully filled in, and we're going to ask some of your interaction in that department. Data centers and support. We're going to talk about the new data centers and admin support. Next, we're going to speak about some challenges, extra minor topics we would like to discuss, get your feedback on, and Q&A. And let's start with team introduction. This is going to be weird. It was a little awkward during the first meeting, but we're still going to do that this time. I'll give you the actual tour of the office and the team. So this is Vlad. Vlad has a background of a .NET developer and PHP developer, and he's been working with Business Catalyst for 9 years. It's actually starting 2009. Yeah, well, that's when he joined us as a backend developer, and then he switched to be a BC developer doing all the complex stuff in BC and then the API integrations. 6 months ago, Vlad became a business analyst instead of a developer, and he makes sure that Treepl CMS becomes the very best version of BC. Let's put it that way. This is Anya. Anya is head of all of our design, so all the UI UX that you guys see in the Treepl CMS on our websites on our template. Eugen. This is the guy who actually built the whole interactive part of the Treepl CMS admin, and it's built on Angular 6, and he did all of that himself. He's also the guy who pushed really hard for the nice editor to earlier. This was the request from the Treepl partners. Back in August, he requested extra overtime to start on it. And now we're going to go to our main room. That's where the rest of the rock band is. So this is the backend team. This is Dima. Dima is a system architect. He's the guy who actually makes sure that Treepl grows big and remains stable. Dima is a .NET senior developer. He was consulting us back in spring when we started on Treepl CMS. The previous project that he worked on had 46 .NET developers. It was a cryptocurrency project for a US company. And he also brought with himself Alex, and Alex is another senior .NET developer right here. He's working with Dima, but he also has experience in PCI compliance. He's going to handle that project. And he also has a huge experience with database migrations. We're using his experience to build the migration for DC to Treepl CMS. That is Sergey right there. Sergey is a junior plus .NET developer. That's how we call him. He does smaller backend stuff. And this is Ivan. Ivan is the very first .NET developer that joined us. He is the guru of Umbraco and backend developer. So he basically helps us to use Umbraco pieces to build Treepl CMS. This is Ira. Ira is the implementator. She does all the migrations and custom stuff on Treepl CMS. This is Anastasia. She's head of QA, and she has a certificate over there. She speaks fluent English. This is Mikhail, and he's the head of our HTML and CSS. This is Yulia. I'll be quicker. She's a designer. She works with Anya. This is the very superstars. This is our admin team. It's actually 3 of them. One of them is not in the office. Those guys make sure that everything works 24/7. They're not talkative. They prefer to speak with servers more than with people, but they're awesome. Michelle is a PHP developer. He works on code production right now. We have 2 guys missing, the project manager and one other admin. Let's continue. Infrastructure and the layer myth. This is something that we didn't discuss much in the BC community, and we'd like to raise this topic. This is the work that our system architect does. So this is how the ecosystem looks like for one single data center. Some pieces are still in process, so we're still working on some stuff. I'll try to go through that as much as I can. So for the infrastructure, we had a very simple goal: create a high available software as a service. We want to give the maximum uptime for every site that is hosted in Treepl CMS. This is the infrastructure we came up with. Most of it is done by our team, and we're still doing some things, and we're going to finish it up by the end of this year. So this is the client who goes onto the website through the browser. He gets to Amazon. through Amazon and he gets to the load balancer, the load balancer will decide which one is stable or most stable, and it's going to send the user to the most stable virtual machine. We're considering maybe as an extra addition at some point to add even more virtual machines. So for the load balancer, there will be choice of 3 virtual machines. And adding those virtual machines basically makes us approach the number of 100% for uptime for the websites. So this is how it looks on one single data center. Then we are working on SQL replication. So basically all the database would have 2 copies all the time that are synchronized. Treepl CMS single sign-on service, that's what our team is building. So whenever you're logged in your partner portal, you are seamlessly logged into every website. And this is how the infrastructure looks like for the partner portal. So we're basically going to have, again, 2 virtual machines that are identical and are synchronized all the time, and the database would be identical as well. The Amazon CloudWatch, this is already set up in our admin support team of 3, having 24/7 admin support for all the sites hosted with Treepl CMS. This is just a small introduction how we use Umbraco. Well, we use the core of Umbraco, basically the engine for some features of Treepl CMS. For example, URL redirects, nice editor, forms, those are built completely from scratch. We didn't use any of the Umbraco core for that. So, but our goal in the long term, remove Umbraco part at all from the Treepl CMS. So I hope it helps. If there are any questions, there are some questions. Without the third machine, what is the uptime percentage guarantee? Well, here's the thing. On the guarantee part, like it's really hard for us to guarantee the Amazon stability. For example, last Friday, they had an outage for 7 minutes. They just went out without informing us. So we had 2 cases during this month and a half where our admins had to perform rebooting the server during the night, and that was caused on our end. But in both cases, we reported in the Slack channel. We're doing the best we can to build the high availability software product. Adding third machine would save us like 5 minutes outage in 3 years. So that's the numbers we were discussing for the third machine. We can have like up to 7 machines if it's needed, but there will be expenses. So maybe we'll offer like as an option or something like that. At the end of this year, we're gonna have another meeting. It's not gonna be the second one, but we're probably gonna have these once a month. And our system architect, Dima, he's gonna actually present that to the community, this whole infrastructure thing. He's gonna go deep into that. So this is just a glance. A lot of that stuff is done. We did enough of that part to launch the new data centers, and we're going to talk about that a little later. Strategy. Just wanted to share some insights on how we want to move forward. Right now, our primary goal is to cover all the BC functions so we could migrate sites successfully. So we have all the Treepl partners would have all of their stuff, whether they have 5 websites or they have 250 websites. We want to make sure that we at least offer them the migration plus all the features in Treepl CMS that could totally replace BC for them. So the next 3 directions we want to head after is site building tools from templates. So that project that we had at co-production before the CEOL announcement, where you could take a template and you can create a demo site out of it, changing colors, changing logos, the stuff that you guys do in Webflow and Duda. The second direction we want to move is add more features for bigger businesses. So basically growing the CRM, e-commerce, and adding more marketing capabilities. So we want to grow that part with add-ons, with some special offerings for larger enterprises. And the third direction we want to move forward is more tools for developers. But this is the only direction that we allow ourselves to work on right now during replacement of the BC, because we have some good numbers of active developers, and we're adding tools as much as we can, giving you more freedom to developers than BC did, and that's something that we'll try to do more and more this year and all the next year. So let me introduce you to Treepl CMS community. So we created Treepl Partners Directory. So basically these are all the Treepl partners, current Treepl partners on the map of the world. And we have info on those who allowed to publish their info. Some didn't get back to us yet with their information. We still have their locations, and some remain to stay private, we have partners from 9 countries total. By the way, thank you everyone for taking the plunge, who took a risk, and that was a risk for some of you back in the end of July. And we're really grateful that you guys have joined us in for all the feedback that you've been giving us in Slack. We have a Slack channel for Treepl partners. Thanks for reporting even bugs. We don't hide. We had some issues and we try to respond as fast as we can. Documentation. Adam Wilson is an ex-BC partner and now Treepl partner from Australia. He's our first contributor and we're so proud to have him. We had this challenge. We knew that we need documentation. So basically Treepl CMS is very familiar with for any BC developer. So Adam came up with the idea, hey guys, do you need some help with documentation? And that was the point on, because we were looking for a person, a professional that writes professional documentations, and that would take us a lot of time to integrate that person, get him familiar with BC's documentation. So we actually created a separate website and gave Adam the access to it, and now he's going to present the rest himself. I'm going to hand him the microphone.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Well, hopefully I'll live up to that expectation. Yes, I mean, just a little bit of background about me. Graphic designer and front-end developer. I started in BC in 2008. So I've been with it for quite a while. And when I found BC, I knew it was like the perfect solution. So I exclusively developed sites in BC, and yeah, just tried to figure out every part of it and really use it to the best of its ability. So when Treepl came along, I've kind of taken that same approach and just dug right in and tried to do all the tricks and pull it apart and find its quirks and limitations as well as its possibilities, just like I did with BC. So doing that, I was obviously documenting it for myself, so that's where the documentation came in. So I thought, why not help the community out, and I was trying to help people in the Slack channel and with the problems that I was coming across, so it just all sort of worked really well. So yeah, I'll share my screen. So yeah, new documentation site. So the first thing I wanted to do with it is just restructure it all and get the structure really down so that I could get everything consistent, get all the terminology consistent, the code examples consistent, and just structure it all so it really fit with the admin and the components that we're using. So the menu down the side has all been restructured. So I basically have gone in and put in every item that's in the admin, or every component that you might use. It's all in there, even though there's a lot of pages that are inactive, of course, because I haven't got to them yet. But basically, it's like a bit of a roadmap now, so that you'll know what's coming and what's going to be put in there. And yeah, so we can just work through that and start filling all that out. The other little feature I added was these little green dots. So basically that shows when a page has been updated in I think the last 5 days I've set it. So when you revisit the docs, you can quickly see that something's been updated, and you might want to go and review that. So I just thought that might help, keep people up to speed with the changes, because there's a lot's going to change in the next few months. And so so I've been working a lot probably on the custom modules, because that's probably the most complex area of web apps, where everyone wants to sort of know how that's going to work. So I'll just jump into the custom module page and just show sort of the layout. So what I want to do is I wanted to put in every single option, every tag sort of that was available, so that we knew all the things we could use, rather than to try and guess. And that's the thing with BC, there was a lot of documentation missing that some people knew of because they found it out certain ways, but if you didn't know, well, you just didn't know. But I want these documentation to be 100%, so everything's there for everybody. And I'm trying to put really good descriptions next to everything, so it's clear what the parameters do and all the options do. So that's all there. Then coming down, I wanted to give real examples of what the output you can expect from these modules. So I've got some real example data there from a site, which I'll talk about in a minute. So that's the real structure and how you access that. And then I wanted to have some actual code examples to show people how to actually access the Liquid data. So there's a few different ways you can go about doing that, and depending on the module, it could change. So put examples there. The other thing I wanted to do was have sort of a cross-referencing system. So this related articles, using the tagging in Treepl, this will automatically populate other articles that are tagged with the same tag, so that will stay up to date. And then there's external resources. So what I've done with the documentation is I've also created a companion site. So it's a trial Treepl site that basically has all the stuff that I put in the documentation, all the examples, the code, will be mirrored in a companion site. So you can actually, using the external resource link, you can go to the page that has what the documentation is talking about and see it all in action. There'll be code there as well. Actually, I'll just jump to that now. So this is the demo site. It's just very basic, slapped together pretty quickly, but basically I'll just show off the custom modules in action, forms showing the data that's output, and you can submit this and actually see the response as well. So we can see the formatted results and also the Liquid response or data. So you can see all that in action. I've got it for Ajax forms, menus, search, and snippets. So that'll be there in the external resources. And also I'm hoping that other people might contribute code examples or snippets and things that they've done, and that can go in the external resources as well. So we can link out to other contributing partners. So this page that we're on is mainly for the components, like the technical side of rendering the data. But I've also want to put in the same sort of thing for working in the admin. So more about the content management side of things. So then we've got all, how to do it all in the admin, where to go, what all the settings are in the admin, particularly for the custom modules, because that's a little bit tricky to get your head around, I think, at first. So all the ins and outs are going to be here, again with related articles and external demos. Yeah, so that's what I've been up to and keeping me busy. But I don't see this as just being my project too. I would like the community to contribute and give advice, corrections, all sorts of feedback. So I'm happy to work with anyone that wants to help out with this. Obviously, it's a big task. So, but yeah, for me, I think documentation is really important for getting new partners on board and getting people up to speed with the system. So, yeah, hopefully it'll work out well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for staying up night, and thanks again for all of your work. We're truly your fans. Oh, by the way, the documentation link is now updated in Partner Portal and Treepl Co website. This is now official documentation website for Treepl CMS. Any questions we have on that part? We're going to definitely expand Liquid to the maximum degree. There is one feature, number formatting feature that would expand Liquid. in the backlog, so that's already confirmed. We definitely want to use as much liquid as possible. We're going to do a little showcase, and we're going to start with Katherine Anderson from Sirocco Web Design. And Katherine is well known for being an SEO guru, and we had several people partners from US like, oh, Katherine has joined. That's awesome. She does SEO stuff for us.
Awesome. I'll take over from here. Okay. Hi, everybody. We're pretty excited to be part of Treepl now. It's been really exciting putting our first project through it. We've actually used a template to start with. So that was a really good way to kind of get our hands dirty. And we felt like if we put a template site through, then that would really start giving us a good idea as to how to use the system, how, how it would interact with websites. And it's actually proven to be really successful for us and really quick actually to put sites together. So what we've got is a site that we just quickly put together, and like I said, it was done quite quickly. We found the template to be really easy and intuitive. It was easy to find where things were. The snippets were fantastic. All of the pages and the page templates were really straightforward and really easy to find things. So that was really lovely. We also found it really good because of the fact that in code view, when you're actually editing, it's all colored. So it's really fast to do HTML edits in the system. We're so used to BC where it's just so troublesome and all one color. So that's certainly been really exciting for us to be able to turn things around so quickly. We also found the fact that the CSS is really simple in the templates because it's all in one document. So that makes it really easy to find things. Also really easy to make updates quickly too. Also using Google Analytics, we felt that was a really big step forward for us. We've always had issues with Business Catalyst Analytics. It's always different to what our clients see in Google Analytics. So that makes it really hard to have those conversations saying, so who do we trust? Whose information do we look at? So this kind of got rid of all of those issues for us by just concentrating on Google Analytics setup and then just implementing goals and dashboards. So now that we can really, really start customizing what clients see each week instead of just having to rely on the old BC template. So that was really good. A couple of little things that we found really helpful and different to BC, which I thought was worth mentioning, is the fact that the header in these templates is in a separate file is really good because then customers can't delete it in the WYSIWYG editor because that was something we always struggled with. Similar to the SEO and canonicals, they're kind of hidden. So clients can't just delete those bits in the WYSIWYG editor. So again, we found that to be sort of speed up our process too because we've got a whole separate section where we can just jump in, dive in and do the SEO. And of course, having things like character counters built in is just a godsend. That's been really, really excellent. Also easy to put canonicals in because that used to be something we had to do manually with the WYSIWYG editor. So, that was fabulous. Also, these really great little photo galleries. They're just so responsive and so easy to put together. So we found that really, really good. Another thing that I just wanted to point out too that made the development side of it so good was the fact that we can do the file upload with a drag and drop. It's so easy to do it that way, to actually just drag things off and drop them straight onto the server. That was fantastic. And even just replacing files, it just comes up and says, hey, do you want me to replace this image? And you're like, yes, please. So it was really good, really, really easy to use. I've also found sort of working our way around it that code production have been fantastic on Slack. They've been really, really responsive. As soon as I put down on any questions, if they're not available and it's kind of off times for them, then, Adam's always around and there's other people who are always jumping in, answering questions. And it's been really helpful and just such a great community. So we're really excited. We've got 2 more sites up and ready to go. Going to start working on those in the next few days, and hopefully we can turn those around just as quickly as we turn this one around. And the client's been really happy with it too. So we're excited. Can't wait to do our next one.
That was really cool. Okay, thanks a lot. It was amazing. And I'm going to show some several other sites that other Treepl partners have allowed us to show. This is the first site. I think, was that the first site that you guys launched on Treepl? Yeah, so this is the site that they have launched on Treepl. And you guys from Denmark, so you guys do everything for Denmark, right, for the local market. Shannon from Dovetail Digital, she allowed us to show some sites that they are working on, and they have pretty cool case. So this is the website that they built originally on BC. And they are supposed to go live with it in the end of August. But as you remember, BC has shut down the upgrade functionality for trial sites on August 27th, and they're located in the US, so they were not able to make it live. So this is the BC version of the site. Let me show you that. So they are one of our partners. So they decided they're going to switch to Treepl. And this is the BC version. So they end up switching to Treepl. The site is built on Foundation. They plan to go live with it next week on Treepl CMS instead of BC, and end up paying less for hosting than they would do in BC. They have a wonderful story. Shannon shared that they actually, after BCOL announcement, they tried Weebly, they tried Squarespace, and they tried WordPress. And I think they worked on 10 websites for WordPress, and she shared some great challenges they faced with WordPress. And then they came to us and started to do websites on Treepl. This one is not live, right? It's not live yet, as I remember. And they have developed their own website on Treepl CMS, so you can check that out. I'm probably going to put those links in the chat so you guys take a look at those. One other website that I wanted to show was migrated for the Treepl partner, and part of that credit that we gave out is this website is built in BC, and that we're actually doing we migrated it to Treepl CMS, and the Treepl partner, he got the request for several updates, so he's basically preparing an offer for the updates to the website, and within that, he's going to also offer the upgrades to Treepl CMS. So this site has a lot of pages, and this is a great candidate for Nice Editor because there's a lot of editing needed to be on the site. So yeah, so it's one of the websites we're gonna try and test Nice Editor on. Public backlog. We used to have public roadmap. Now we call it public backlog because that's what it is. We basically unified our internal backlog. We brought everything from in there, took all of your feedback, took the stuff for the master plan, and organized it into one public backlog. So all the features that we're working on or we're about to work on, or we're going to work on in several months that we approve, they're there in one place. So in process right now, we have for September 26th, we have 3 features and 1 improvement scheduled, managing 3 FTP for pages, custom module items, import and export. So this is something that will help you guys out if you want to migrate on your own. So the next feature is custom modules item search, and we have multiple file versions in File Manager. These 3 items will be delivered on September 26th, next Wednesday. Now we have all the features filtered by tags. So we counted 64. If you go to the coming next section, you'd see it's empty. It means that we need a little interaction, we need a little help from the community on what's important for you guys in the next sprint. So as you know, we deliver Treepl CMS every 2 weeks. What we want to ask you to do is to go in to the public backlog and look through all the features and improvements we have in the backlog and leave 3 likes for the features that you need most. Based on that, we're going to plan out the next sprint. Only 3 for now. So this is like a small experiment. We just want to make sure that we're selecting the very right features and the very right functionality. Data centers and support. October 12th, we're going to launch Australian Data Center, Sydney, and European Union Data Center in Frankfurt. Also, I must say that we had some great activity from Canadians. It seems like we're gonna launch Canadian data center this year, and if they continue to be that active, we're really realistically seeing Canadian data center coming in November. Also, I wanted to talk about support. Do we really have admin support? We do. It's 24/7. We have 3 admins that do 24/7 administration support. Now, the only thing we want to fix is we're probably going to add them to the Slack channel and create a separate channel for the hosting. So if something doesn't work, you can post in there and they read it. Or if there's something going on the server that you need to know, they're rebooting the server or they're doing some maintenance work, they're going to post it in there. We're going to launch this next week. We have 2 layers of administration support, the Amazon team, and we have our own team. End user challenge. So we have end users that are coming to us directly after you guys gave them a quote for migrating to Treepl CMS, or just BC end clients of BC partners. And they ask for us to migrate websites for them and host websites for them. Now, we don't want to deal with that. We prefer not to work with end users. So we're considering options on what we're going to do with those guys. One of the ideas that we had, if they come from a Treepl partner, we direct them to that same Treepl partner. And we had that case when an end client came to us and said, hey, this is how much they quoted us. What if we're going to, negotiate and just work with you directly? So we want to forward them to this page. And if, let's say they're from Canada, we're like, hey guys, you can go and find another partner in Canada or that you can want to work with. Q&A. The Slack channel only for paid partners. Yes, Slack channel is for Treepl partners. So basically this is where all of our team interacts with all of the Treepl partners. This is where the Treepl partners interact with each other. So basically this is the place where we all hang out, and we find it very, very much convenient. Where are you located? So Upgrade Parade LLC is a company registered in Ohio. So I'm back in Ukraine, all going to be here until we finish the BC part at least. Together with the team, the management, development, support, everybody's located in Ukraine. The same time zone as the Romanian team that worked for Adobe. It's actually really helps us too because they're very responsive during the first part of the day. So everybody work in-house. We don't hire freelancers to do any kind of work that's related to your stuff, to trial sites. So everybody is under NDA. Everything that's stored, all the data that relates to trial sites, to the content is not stored on our servers here in Ukraine. It's stored on AWS, so we keep an eye on that as well. We have 2 admins. They came to us from one of the biggest gaming companies. They were doing the infrastructure work and the admin support for that company. It's a well-known company, but they just do a lot of development here in our city. So they're doing admin support and infrastructure work for us now for Treepl CMS. So we're really excited about that because they did some really high volume stuff. It is good to see we have a fairly good sized team in the office. Yeah, thanks, Jack. And we're going to grow. We're going to hire at least 5 more people. We have 3 vacancies right now. We're looking for more people because we want to speed up the development. Our team did an incredible job in organizing the processes so we could really carry a lot of development in each sprint and deliver a lot of stuff in every 2 weeks. All of our team actually watches all of your progress. The website goes live. It's in our chat, and everybody's is looking at that, and we share our thoughts. And we're looking at the Facebook, the Slack channel. Everybody's involved. Here's the thing: they worked with BC for years, and they had their struggle with it, and now it really gave us some spirit doing this project. So it really gives us a lot of unity as well. How many sites are live? How many current partners? That's a good question. We have, I think, 7 live websites. 7 or 8. It's 7 or 8 that went live. There are a lot of websites that are about to go live. How many partners? We have 40, yes, right now from 8 countries. And they're carrying at least 2,000 websites on BC. At least. That's like the minimum number. The partner with least websites, I guess, is 3 or 4. And the partner that has most, I guess it's 250 or something like that. You can count them, actually. So all of them are here. how many sites do you need to stay afloat? That's not too bad. Stay afloat. We're not at like a risk zone as we used to be. The hardest period was when we had early adopters. We had only like 200 websites. They only carried like 200 websites. It was pretty nervous when we announced the first wave of partners. And we knew that we had to make it limited, because if we just get too much people, we may get people frustrated because of the lack of support or lack of responsiveness. And we're really happy to hear that you guys, confirmed that we've been supportive and responsive to you. That was the most nervous period, to be honest, especially the DC send file when we presented the very first version, and when things didn't go well as they should have during the presentation. So that week was pretty nervous. So right now, we're really looking to have 300 to 500 live websites by the end of this year. There are two challenges, and it's 50-50. One is the new sites, and the other one is migration. So as I understand, the new sites, you haven't been doing a lot of new sites lately, but you have to do, because it produces the cash flow. So based on the activity that we see in the trial sites, we have almost 300 trial sites created by partners, and most of them are by Treepl partners. That's including trial partners as well, but those guys create just 1-2 instances to play around. But we see a lot of activity in the trial partners. By the way, we have trial partners and live sites separated completely. Yeah, the thing that keeps us afloat is basically live websites and new partners. Yeah, new partners help us as well. So all those fees, partner fees, we actually use that to expand the team. And plus, there's a lot of investment I have to do on my behalf. Partner programs are officially open now, and if you become a Treepl partner, and you will get all this wonderful goodness that we just talked about. One of the things that you're gonna get access to a super thriving community of the fellow XBC partners you have so much got used to work with for many years. And if you become a Treepl partner today, before October 1st, you can use 50% of the partner program fee towards migrations of your BC site to Treepl CMS, and that doesn't expire. Developing sites for partners is part of the plan. Everybody who worked on BC, we didn't fire a single developer. We trained them for Treepl. In fact, they give a lot of feedback, and they give a lot of testing to our backend team. So we're going to have new services on code production for Treepl partners and for those who passed the development help for their websites. So we're basically going to have PSD to Treepl, that's for sure. Troubleshoot my site where you need some help. And one of the other things we probably going to do, sell hours, like we would sell packages of 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, 50 hours of development to Treepl partners. And another thing we considered was integrating code production dashboard, the project part, the chats, into Treepl's admin. So not your users, but you as a Treepl partner would communicate to the team right through the admin. So for the project sheet right there. We already have started the development of code production, redevelopment of code production. So we built that on Angular 8. So that has been in the development, and we actually finished the HTML, CSS part today already. So we're going to start on the implementation next week. So this is something that we want to launch in the end of October, somewhere like that. So we are totally reorganizing our project management processes. So yeah, we want to make sure that every Treepl partner that is not a developer, he has access to high-end developers to code production. Thank you guys. It was amazing. We enjoyed that. I hope you also did. Bye-bye.